A lot of you need to stop letting the internet convince you that you need to live your life a certain way. There's nothing wrong with going there and looking for some sort of guidance or ideas or advice or anything along those lines. But the problem is, a lot of you have no idea what it is that you truly want in life. And because of that, you get swept up in everybody else's opinions. Now, I understand that I am also a person who shares opinions on the internet. So take that however it is that you will. But at the end of the day, there is not anything that applies to everybody, at least goal wise. Some things are universally true. Yes, any degree of success in any endeavor requires sacrifice and effort. But the degree of sacrifice that something requires depends entirely upon the outcome it is that you want. If you are somebody who just wants to live comfortably, you don't have to spend the same amount of time working as somebody who wants to make billions of dollars and rule the world. But there are a lot of people who go and watch Alex Hormozy, for example, and feel like because they are not working 37 hours a day, that they are failing, without taking into consideration that maybe Alex Hormozy's goals are vastly different than yours. And if you're not trying to do the same things as certain people, you don't need to do what it is that they are doing. If you are not trying to be a bodybuilder, you don't need to work out or eat like a bodybuilder does. You just need to figure out what type of shape it is that you want to get in and do what is necessary for that. Now, I know, again, this being online, this being social media, everybody speaks in absolutes. And I do the same thing too, just because it's very hard to make compelling and very nuanced arguments in a 1 minute time frame or 2 minutes or whatever it is that people post on Instagram and or TikTok. But you still need to be able to extrapolate these things and apply them to yourself. If you listen to certain people, you will feel like you need to be working all day and sacrifice everything and do nothing but grind and hustle and all of that whatnot. And that simply is not the case. And if you listen to a lot of people, they will make you feel like you are an absolute failure at life because you are not driving a Phantom or some other expensive car, a Lamborghini of sorts, or Ferraris, or whatever the case may be, whatever super expensive luxury slash sports cars that there are. They will make you feel like there is absolutely no point to your existence. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, everybody doesn't want to drive a Phantom. Everybody doesn't want Bentleys and Lamborghinis and what's the really expensive one? A Bugatti, or all of them other cars that like 7 people in the world can afford. And that's perfectly fine if that's not what it is that you want. Everybody doesn't want to live in a 40,000 square foot house. Everybody doesn't want to run Fortune 500 companies or whatever it is like that. But again, because people have absolutely no direction and you don't know what it is specifically that you want out of your life, and you've never taken the time to think about it, you get caught up in all of these things. You get caught up in thinking that because you are not walking around at 250 pounds and with 37-inch biceps and abs that are visible, not only visible, but sticking out 24/7, that you are failing in life. But those might not be your goals, and that's perfectly fucking fine. You need to figure out what it is that's going to work for you based on what it is that you want. Don't let these other people shame you into doing whatever it is that they feel is the best way to live their life. Yeah, some people feel incomplete without $1 million vehicles, and that's their thing, that's their prerogative, but it does not need to be yours. Maybe you just want to drive a modest car and live in a regular ass house and have a family and be a dad and or mom and or whatever it is, and that's perfectly fine. You're not failing in life, you're not falling short because you're not doing that, and you don't have millions of dollars in disposable income. And again, that does not take the same degree of sacrifice as it will take if you want to live in a mega mansion in Beverly Hills or Miami or whatever, wherever else it is that people decide that they want to live. Like, Your life is your life. And at the end of the day, the only person that you need to satisfy and make sure that you are staying true to is yourself. Who cares about the approval of random people on the internet? Who cares that someone who makes more money than you makes you feel like you're a failure because you don't have $10 million liquid in your checking account at all times? That's life. And again, everybody doesn't want that. Not only does everyone not want that, but everybody can't have that because everybody can't be rich, because being rich by definition is a comparative metric. If everybody is rich, nobody is rich. That's just how things work. Some people want more things than others, and that's perfectly fine. But again, you need to figure out what it is that works for you. Some people, I know people who sit there and go online and they watch all these little red pill weird dudes and all of that whatnot talking about how it is that all women are and how it is that they should treat them and the things that they shouldn't do. And that goes absolutely against what it is that they truly want out of life, because they just want to find a partner that they can settle down with and do life together and, I don't know, do couples videos and go on dates and whatever else it is that couples do nowadays. And that's what it is that they want. And they get talked or shamed out of wanting that because some random bitter ass person has decided that that's not the way to go. And they need to enforce that on everybody else because they got their heart broken and they have no idea how to handle it. And it is all of these online topics and debates and discussions that have people so freaking lost. And what nobody wants to admit, or nobody even understands, is there are so many ways to do so many things. People get caught up arguing about their vegan and carnivore diets, not realizing that there are people who are wildly successful in their fitness goals doing both and who are doing neither. So the end takeaway from that is everything works, and you got to figure out what it is that works for you. Maybe you don't want to eat only plants for the rest of your life. That's perfectly fine. Maybe you don't want to eat only meat for the rest of your life. That's perfectly fine. Maybe you are somebody who enjoys food that's bad for you, like Taco Bell and McDonald's, and you want to figure out a way to be able to eat that. That is perfectly fine. You do you. Just figure out how it is that you are going to make that work. And again, don't let these weirdos trick you into something that is not conducive to your goals. Like, one thing that people, I don't know if people still debate about it because I don't be online like that, seeing what it is that people talk about. But I've seen a lot of people talk about their whole little 50-50 thing and debating back and forth about men should pay for everything and women shouldn't do anything, and or the opposite, that men shouldn't take care of women because women are gold diggers, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, both of those things are nonsense. There are men out there who would like to pay for everything that every woman that they are with does, and wants to protect them and provide for them and are in a financial position to be able to do so. There are men who want to be able to do those things, but simply are not in a financial position to do so. And on the other end, there are women who absolutely want to be taken care of, but there are also women who want to work and contribute. And rather than sitting there going back and forth trying to figure out the right answer and win all of these random nonsensical debates, figure out what it is that you want and find the appropriate partner for your goals. If you are a woman and you want somebody to take care of you, then don't talk to people who are not willing to do that and or can't do that, because at the end of the day, even if this is what you believe and you convince them that they are right, if they are incapable of doing it, they are incapable of doing it. Such is life. Everybody is not in a position to be able to do that. Same thing goes for men. If you don't want a woman who wants you to pay for everything, then stop looking for the women who want you to pay for everything. That is a fruitless endeavor. That is a fool's errand. And you can debate with her and debate with them and go online in your little forums and fucking Twitter threads and all of that whatnot and debate all it is that you want, and find all of the videos of the people who make a very compelling case for why it is that you shouldn't do that. But it's not like you're going to change the mind of these women. It just means you are talking to the wrong woman. If some woman wants you to pay for all of her bills and you a, cannot afford it, and B, do not want to do that, then that's just not the woman for you. Go talk to a different woman. Stop trying to make everybody fit into all of these random, weird little boxes that people have arbitrarily established, thinking that that's going to do something and that you are going to unlock the master key for life to get whatever it is that you want simply because you participate in all of this online back and forth about nothing. That is not the way it works. Find the people who have the same goals as you, who want the same outcomes as you. Find the modality. for whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish. It's going to help you accomplish your goals. Like I said before, if you don't want to be a bodybuilder, you should not be training like a bodybuilder. And you don't have to train like a bodybuilder. You don't have to want to look like a bodybuilder. I don't want to be 200 plus some odd pounds personally. I don't want to be the world's most elite power lifter. I don't specifically care the specific number that I can bench press. And once upon a time, people made me feel bad about that because they were like, I bench 400 some odd pounds and you don't. And I was like, dang, or I weigh this much and you don't. I have this amount of whatever the case may be. And that made me feel bad about myself. But then I stepped back and thought, I don't want that. I don't want to run around forever wearing Louis Vuitton and Gucci and whatever other designer logos it is that there are, because that's not what it is that floats my boat. And that is perfectly freaking fine. You have one life to live and you are not beholden to the opinions of a bunch of random strangers. What is it that you would like to do with your life? What do you want to get out of life? How do you want to live? If you want to be somebody who has a bunch of random women, then by all means figure out a way to make that work. But what you are not going to do is figure out some magical way to get a whole bunch of women to want you when you are not the type of person that those women want. If you are somebody who wants to have some monogamous, happy, loving relationship and raise a family, then do that. Don't get caught up in all of the nonsense about men shouldn't do X with kids or household chores or whatever the case may be. Maybe that doesn't bother you. Go ahead and do it. My overall point to this is do your thing. Fuck what it is that everybody else is talking about. Fuck what it is that everybody else thinks. Fuck everybody else's opinions and fuck how everybody else thinks that you should live your life. Figure out your goals, figure out how to accomplish them, and do that. Disregard everything else because it is just making you unnecessarily sad and anxious for absolutely no reason, trying to appease people who you don't care about and who ultimately do not care about you. You are the architect of your life. It is up to you to create your own blueprints. All of the rest of this is nonsense. Don't let anyone convince you that anything that you want is wrong and or dumb. I mean, unless of course it is objectively wrong and dumb, but then you need to reassess yourself, and this is probably not the video for you. But like I said, do you fuck everybody else.